We only started in January. What a year it's been. We've gone from 0 to 7 figures. Honestly, it's bananas. But it's also so much fun because every morning I wake up, it's the top app, and then I scroll and I look at my numbers.
Wow!
You know, and
look at that. And it's all trending up.
Exactly.
Yes, it's building here. All right, so welcome to Amazon. We're about to interview a successful seller on the Amazon store here at the Amazon HQ behind us. We've got all your questions you guys have asked us. So everything from how did you get started on Amazon? How did you become successful? How did you gain more visibility? We're going to answer all those questions and so much more on today's video. So stay tuned and jump in the comments if you've got any questions. All right, let's jump in. Hello, everybody. We've got a real bonus today. We've got an actual account manager here at Amazon. Hey, Daisy. How you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Do you want to just tell us who you are and what you do here at Amazon?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Daisy. I am a partner manager for the Amazon Strategic Account Services.
Okay, gotcha. So let's just talk about some of the programs that professional sellers can use on the Amazon store. Do you want to just speak to some of what those look like?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a few. Probably the most important ones are Fulfillment by Amazon.
So Amazon FBA.
Amazon FBA. Yeah, this is great in terms of fulfilling your products as an end-to-end solution to the customer.
Sure.
Amazon will deal with everything on your behalf. And another really important one would be Amazon advertising.
Sure.
Really important to be able to promote your products, promote your brand, and make yourself stand out on Amazon.
And just for the people who don't know, because I don't want to make any assumptions, just explain to our audience what Fulfillment by Amazon is exactly. What does it actually mean in substance, in reality?
Yeah, so Fulfillment by Amazon is where you send your products to the Amazon fulfillment centers.
Yeah.
Our Amazon fulfillment center workers will repackage your products and then ship them to the customer directly. They will also handle any returns.
What is the difference between someone who's selling on Amazon and fulfilling themselves and someone who sells on Amazon but fulfills by Amazon in terms of results?
So yeah, logistically, obviously if you're fulfilling by yourself, you are shipping the products and dealing with returns on your own, as opposed to FBA, Amazon is doing that on behalf for you. But in terms of results, selling partners using Fulfillment by Amazon can see a 35% sales uplift using FBA. To do with the Prime badge, you also have the next day delivery promise, which makes a big difference for the customers.
That's a huge uplift.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Really significant.
Yeah. Now, speaking to FBA, it's one that our audience talk a lot about. There are so many courses, there's so many people pitching you things online, and they're often quite expensive courses. For people who are just beginning this journey of wanting to start to sell on the Amazon store, are there any reputable sources of information, places they can go and learn that you might refer people to?
Yeah, definitely. So before setting up your Seller Central account, you can look at the Amazon YouTube channel.
Okay.
This promotes all of our Seller University videos.
Sure.
You can actually get direct access to Amazon Seller University once you have set up your Seller Central account. So these videos are educational videos teaching you everything there is to know about selling on Amazon. So this is from FBA, this is to listing your products and advertising. It covers everything.
So you could actually watch these videos and actually then get started as a seller on the Amazon store.
Exactly, they're very informative. They're made by Amazon employees themselves who are professionals in that particular area, and will give you all the information you need.
Cool. We're going to link to some of them below, guys, below this video for you to head over and check them out. Daisy, if people wanted to start right now, what should they be doing immediately to get started on Amazon?
Yeah, so it's super simple. You follow the link to sign up. You fill out a very simple form with your basic business information.
Sure.
You may be eligible to be contacted by an Amazon account manager.
Wow.
Equally, you will also be sent video information about the next steps to start selling on Amazon. Guys,
that link is right below this video. Smash that link, get started right now, and begin that journey of selling on Amazon. It sounds like a simple question, but who can actually sell on Amazon?
Yeah, definitely. So anyone can sell on Amazon, really.
Sure.
There's different types of sellers. So you can have resellers or brand owners, but anyone looking to sell on Amazon can quite simply set up an account and start selling.
Right. And what does it actually cost to get started selling on Amazon?
Yeah, so we have two different plans. One is the individual plan, and one is the professional selling plan. The difference being is if you're predicting yourself to sell more than 35 units a month,
Right.
we would recommend the professional selling plan.
Gotcha.
So this costs a flat fee of £25 a month, but then also a category referral fee between 8 and 15% from each product.
Okay. So you mentioned that there are brand owners and resellers. For those who are complete beginners, do you mind just explaining what those actually mean and what the differences are between them?
Yeah, so the resellers are those selling partners who are selling products of perhaps another brand,
Sure.
which doesn't have their own registered trademark.
Okay.
On the other hand, brand owners do have their own registered trademark, which they've put through the Amazon Brand Registry tool, which also gives them access to a range of different benefits selling on Amazon.
Gotcha. So Daisy, what are some of the seller incentives on Amazon and who is it for?
Yeah, so in terms of fulfillment by Amazon, as a new seller, you are eligible for free storage for 100 units up to 120 days. You would also be eligible for free removal for 180 days. So basically this gives you more confidence using FBA initially,
Wow.
selling on Amazon.
So a really good way to start for a new beginner, basically.
Definitely.
So imagine that I've started selling on Amazon and I'm doing pretty well, okay?
Yeah.
And I want to expand my business and I'm based in the UK, I want to move into Europe and that kind of thing. Given Brexit and that sort of stuff, how easy is it for me to expand my business into other regions, for example?
So there's kind of two aspects to this. First of all, there's the compliance side. Obviously, the BREXIT situation. Amazon has its own compliance solutions in terms of EPR regulations, VAT registration and filing, and also cross-border trade solutions to help you navigate the Brexit situation. So Amazon can very easily help you get compliant to be able to sell in Europe. Then going one step further, we can also help you logistically fulfill your products to Europe. So we have a couple different solutions for this, depending on how far you want to commit to selling in Europe. The first is the European Fulfillment Network.
Okay.
So you send your products to the UK Fulfillment Centre and Amazon will then ship them directly to the customer on your behalf. The second option is the Pan-European Fulfillment Programme, which is great, whereby you will also keep your stock in a fulfillment centre on mainland Europe and are able to ship at local fulfillment fees around Europe to customers. Basically, Amazon has these solutions in place to make it very easy for you to fulfill across Europe.
So Daisy, imagine that your best friend works full time and has only a few hours per day or per week to do something as a side hustle, and they really want to get started on Amazon, yeah? What's the one top tip you would give your best friend? If you look at the camera and just give your best friend that top tip.
Okay, I think my one top tip would be just start selling as soon as possible. There's a monumental customer base waiting to buy your products. It's 150 million unique customers on Amazon in Europe every month.
Wow.
So since there's already a massive customer base on Amazon, you don't have to take the time to find those customers. So I would suggest list your products right away and access the 150 million unique visitors that Amazon has every month coming to the store.
Guys, you heard it here, live from Amazon. Jump in the comments, let us know your questions, and don't forget to click that link in the description box below. Really excited to be joined today by Mark, who's the co-founder of Suri. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Ken. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this.
So, do you want to just start off by telling us who you are and what is Suri?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, my name is Mark. As Ken said, I'm the co-founder of Suri, which is short for Sustainable Rituals. Basically, my co-founder and I discovered that every year over 4 billion toothbrushes get thrown away and end up in landfill and the ocean. And what's more, virtually every brush you've ever used since you were a child probably still exists and will do for a long time. So you'd think, well, do people really love their toothbrushes? Well, we discovered when we interviewed over 5,000 people that was far from the case. And so we thought, well, could we design a brush that's really effective at brushing your teeth, that's more sustainable, and more enjoyable to use.
Yeah.
And so we created Suri, which delivers on all those things. So we use plant-based materials in the head, we offer free recycling, our brushes are repairable, so when the battery dies we can replace it.
Sure.
Our packaging is 100% plastic free, we're a B Corp, but also we have great features.
So, Mark, just going back a little bit, how you talked about interviewing lots of people. How did you find the right product? I know everybody uses a toothbrush, but what made you become fixated on this as a problem you wanted to solve?
Sure. So we really wanted to solve a big problem, right? Loads of people can brush their teeth. It's a huge market, and it doesn't matter whether you're in America, Germany, China, Australia, everyone brushes their teeth. Over 50% of people in the US, Germany, and UK use an electric brush. And so we thought, okay, well, it's a large market, but as we identified, there's huge problems with sustainability. And as we sort of think about other products and the way we want to live our lives, we want to have more sustainable solutions.
Absolutely.
And so we thought, well, okay, could we make it more sustainable? But that's not enough. No one wants to compromise when it comes to sustainability. And quite frankly, why should you? You don't want to brush that's really sustainable but doesn't brush your teeth, right? And so we worked with people like Professor Damien Walmsley, who's the former scientific advisor to the British Dental Association, to make sure that we built a really effective brush that cleans your teeth. Then we used our design skills to work out how can we make it more sustainable. And look, we went to over 25 different manufacturers.
Wow.
And 24 of them straight out just laughed without going on mute on Zoom, and it was just like, okay. They're like, why are you laughing? And they're like, so you guys want to repair the brush? We're like, yeah. And they're like, no, our job is to sell them. Like people buy more if we're like, no, but that's not the point. Like we think that there's a better way of doing this.
Just for context for our audience, in terms of cost, speak to us about what it took to actually get started, time and money. What had to go in for this to get to where we are today?
You know what? There's lots of different ways to run a business, right? Before this, I had a different type of business, which we sort of built and sold, which was not backed by external investors.
Sure.
But this time, we thought, look, we really want to scale as quickly as possible, which means we have to buy a lot of toothbrushes, we have to spend a lot on R&D. So we thought, right, we want to raise investment.
Sure.
So we came up with a proposal, a pitch deck, financial model, and we took it to a series of angel investors and venture capitalists.
Sure.
And we were lucky to raise a sum of money from them. And we used that money to sort of really get us going and to launch the product.
Great. So look, we're here because you sell, you're phenomenal on Amazon. Why Amazon? Why should anyone sell on Amazon? Why are you using Amazon to sell your products?
Firstly, thanks for calling us phenomenal. We feel like total beginners. We only started in January, so like this is just the end of our first year, but what a year it's been. We've gone from 0 to 7 figures, and just honestly, it's bananas. But it's also so much fun because it's fun for me and my wife less so, because every morning I wake up and I like, it's the top app, and then I scroll and I look at my numbers.
Wow.
And
look at that. It's all trending up.
Exactly. That's what I like to see. And then that's year to day. And if we go like month to day, wow. But Amazon just really make it so easy to run your company. I can run the whole thing from my mobile. I can check on inventory, I can look at my numbers, I can look at performance, I can look at my listings, you can see the revenue, and it becomes this really fun way to be able to manage your business.
Imagine someone's watching this right now and they're thinking, do you know what? I want to start like Mark did. How does someone get set up on Amazon? Think of it as an A to Z. Where do we begin?
What would I do? I would do the following things. I would work out what kind of size of business do I want in the long run.
Right.
Do I want a massive company worth 100 million? Do I want to have a company that makes me 100 grand a month? I was speaking to this guy actually at a dinner last week, and he makes £11,000 a month on Amazon as a side project. He has a full-time job at a well-known company.
Interesting.
And he was like, it's making £11,000 a month.
Wow.
Now that's revenue. I don't know how much profit he's making, but I got the impression he's making at least 1 or 2k a month profit. Would you like an extra 24k?
Interesting.
A year?
This is what people want.
Yeah.
And what was that business? What was the nature of it? What do they do?
He sells scarves.
Interesting.
Very seasonal.
Yeah.
So again, coming back to my point about what do you want to sell?
Yeah.
When people need to brush their teeth?
Yeah.
Every day.
Of course.
Right?
Daily.
Every day.
Twice a day.
Right. Twice a day.
Yeah.
How often do you wear a scarf? I mean, I don't know you personally, maybe you don't ever wear scarves, but like
Rarely,
but like
actually.
rarely, right? And so like there you go. Like if you choose, like, I'm going to set up my business selling scarves, you might become the best scarf seller. But you know, it's going to be the winter months which are going to be your months, and
Sure.
within that, there's only a subset of people who actually wear scarves.
Interesting.
Within that, there's only a certain people who are going to buy your brand.
Yeah.
And so, I think if I was to set up, I would start off by thinking, what kind of business do I want? Do I want a lifestyle business? Do I want like a really scalable business? And then kind of work backwards from there.
Okay. And although you touched on this earlier, if someone was to go about figuring out what product they might want to sell on Amazon, what tips would you give to that specifically? Let's say, for example, someone said, I want to start selling, I don't know, plastic containers. You know, what additional work does someone need to do to verify that that's actually a worthy area worth exploring, do you think?
That's a great question. One tip I would say, actually, and this is more of like a general business tip that someone taught me and that I think is so true, is in everything I do, I look to minimize the downside and maximize the upside.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
Sure.
It's like, how can I lower my risk when I start whilst giving myself the best chance of upside? So for us, for example, rather than remortgaging my house and putting all my life savings,
Yeah.
you know, we went for investors. So that minimizes my downside. If it all goes wrong, the investors lose their money. That's not going to happen, investors. We're on a good track. But you know, it's kind of think about that. Whereas the upside, if the business goes well, then
Sure.
it's like I share in that upside.
Sure.
And I think for anyone starting out, I would also say the same thing. It's like I would consider how can you minimize, you know, your potential loss. So
Yes.
like maybe you don't spend too much money on stock,
Yeah.
or maybe you partner up in a different way, or you could even go to an existing brand and say to them, hey, I notice you're not selling on Amazon.
Yeah.
They've already bought the inventory, they've got the brand, etc. And you
okay.
can say, hey, you know, I'm been doing all these courses, I know a lot
That's
about Amazon.
interesting, okay.
If you pay me whatever, 500 quid a
X%,
month,
yeah.
or X%
Yeah,
even,
yeah.
I will manage your listing, I'm going to optimize it, and then you get a free education that way.
Yeah.
You're learning all about Amazon, 3P, you can like build up your skills.
Yeah.
And then with that expertise, you can then go on to launch other products,
Yeah.
having kind of got expertise in it. And that's what I did at Procter & Gamble. You know,
Interesting.
I was learning FMCG
Yeah.
to then replicate it myself.
Wow, that's a great tip. How do you think you stand out so much on the Amazon store? What do you do
Yeah.
for that to happen?
Well, I can tell you there's a number of ways that Amazon really help with that. So I think something that's really important to us, Sustainable Rituals, is our story of sustainability and enabling shoppers to make more sort of conscious choices for themselves, for the planet. And so Amazon make that really easy because they have the Climate Pledge Friendly badge.
Okay.
So that's, you know, it has these like green wings and it appears on your listing. So it's a really nice visible way for consumers to see like, okay, this brand has been verified to be a little bit more eco than other brands. So that's one way.
Sure.
I think another thing we have is the A+ content and
What does
actually
that
A+ premium content. So that means when you click onto our listing, you'll see lots of beautiful imagery, but some of it's quite interactive, so you can press on certain bits and more information pops up.
interesting, okay.
You have comparison tables. There's really a wealth of things you can do. And if you think about your listing is all about conversion.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Amazon has a bunch of great stats about, you know, those with A+ content or A+ premium content convert X% higher. So we now have Climate Pledge Friendly, which increases click-through
Sure.
into your product listing, and then you have the A+ premium content, which increases conversion and education. And so I think those are some of the kind of key ways. Yeah.
What about things like advertising and that sort of thing? Does that play a big role in helping to gain visibility on Amazon? for you?
Definitely. Well, for me, but for anyone. Like, I always think, you know, Amazon make money from advertising, right? And so it's a win-win situation. Like, you pay Amazon gives you shoppers,
Yes.
you make money. And so we find, you know, the advertising through PPC is like super effective.
Right.
And we see a really incredible return on investment. So we just keep pumping more ad dollars to Amazon.
You said something really interesting before we started filming. You said that you're getting lots of people organically searching on Amazon for your toothbrushes,
Yeah.
but they're coming from somewhere else to search on Amazon for
That's
it.
right.
So do you mind just sharing any top tips on what you think has helped to create that buzz
Yeah.
for people to search for your products.
Sure. So we're not a purely Amazon only brand. We also have our own online store.
Sure.
And we're also sold in other retailers. And I think for us, we want to make people aware, drive awareness that we exist.
Yes.
That we have these great unique features. And one of the ways that we've done that is through PR.
Yep.
And so we're really lucky to have just really great PR. And traditionally, honestly, I've been a bit skeptical about PR. PR agencies can charge a lot of money. Oh, we can't promise any results though.
Yes,
yeah.
course,
Oh,
yes.
here's a retainer, but like we may or may not get anything for you. It's like, well, that's not the kind of business I want to be in. I want to pay for performance.
Yes.
And so we found this plucky PR agency who were like, look, you can just pay us by performance.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, we put a cap on it because they started getting amazing performance. But we were super happy to do that, and so as a result, we get great press coverage, and that drives additional traffic to us. But the second part of that has been SEO. So in our category, electric toothbrushes,
Sure.
if you're thinking about purchasing a product like that, you'll often type into Google best electric toothbrush ?
Yes.
And in the top 10 results, you'll have The Independent, The Times, GQ, Good Housekeeping. And fortunately, all of those feature Surrey right at the top of their reviews. And so it's kind of comes back to the consumer.
Okay.
How is the consumer going to find out about you? Is it
Sure.
word of mouth? Is it from press? Is it online? Is it from influencers?
Yeah.
And then making sure you're wherever they are.
Sure. We had a question from because we asked our community what questions they had
Oh,
for
nice.
Mark. And a question that came through was, how does a new seller with private label products gain visibility fast and profitably?
And profitably, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
great
the key
question.
one, yeah.
That's a great
Exactly, I
question.
thought you'd like
Because
that.
it's easy to get visibility really quickly by spanking the ad dollars.
Yes.
But how do you do it
How do
profitably?
you make money?
Yeah. So I've got two answers to that. The first answer is, when we first launched, we spent a lot of money getting visibility, and we weren't making much on profitability. And we're working with someone who said, trust the process.
Sure.
You need to invest a little bit to begin with for a few months, and then you're going to start seeing your ranking coming up,
Yeah.
and then sales coming through. And that absolutely happened to be the case for us. It was pretty nerve-wracking.
Sure.
And there was a point at which we actually said, okay, we're going to turn the dial off now on our ad spend. But as we did that, actually sales rose, and then we started turning the ad spend back up. So it was, it's kind of having a good ad strategy, I think, is really important. But I would say we're playing the long game here.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? We're trying to build a global brand that people love, that people know for design, performance, and sustainability. And so I would factor in, at what point do you need to make profitability? Because we'd all love to grow and be really profitable simultaneously. But is there a world in which, you can get a slightly different balance depending on how you're funded as well?
Okay. Now, converse to that, there's a question here about how do you rank higher without spending large amounts of pay-per-click advertising?
It's almost like, how do you have your cake and eat it?
Yes.
But
That's perfect.
Yeah. But there are ways. And there's this famous personal development person, Tony Robbins, who says, it's never a lack of resources that's your problem. It's a lack of resourcefulness.
Ooh, okay.
And
like that.
I believe that. Your job as an entrepreneur, I believe, is to be as resourceful as possible.
Yes.
And I am constantly searching for ways to get additional value sort of out of nothing. So one actual way was we joined the Amazon Sustainability Accelerator, which was phenomenal. We had all this free trading, office space, Amazon credits, support from Amazon experts, and we got tens of thousands, maybe over £100,000 easily of value from the Sustainability Accelerator, and that then meant we got some additional bits of visibility, which meant more people knew about us, which meant more people searched for us, which means our organic ranking gets higher because there's more search volume coming through. So I think you've just got to think about different ways of being really resourceful when you have less resources.
Yes,
You know,
of course.
And ultimately, it's a David Goliath type challenge. Like, we're not going to outspend our largest competitors on advertising, but we can be more crafty in what we're doing.
Understood. Is there an optimal number of products to begin with on Amazon, in your experience? For you, it seems like you've focused on one thing, but for someone who's starting out, is there an optimal number of products to begin with?
No.
And why is that?
Because how long is a piece of string? It's sort of, actually, there's two ways of answering this. Optimal is like depends totally on your own objectives. What kind of life do you want to have? Like, tell me, would you rather have a £10 million business where you sold one product, or a £10 million business where you sold 5,000 products?
Oh gosh, the former.
Right?
Yes.
Because
I just want the one product. Making me 10 million.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Right? But if you could have a business that makes £10,000 a year with one product, or a business that makes 10 million with 5,000 products, what would you prefer?
You see, the 5,000 products is a bit of a hassle.
It is.
Thinking about it, because it would just be too much to manage, I think.
Yeah. Whereas someone else might be like, 5,000, I'm going to manage that. Like £10 million, I'll sell for.
You'd need
100,000 products.
You need loads of people to manage.
Well,
all the customer queries potentially. There's so many things that will.
But I was speaking with a seller just a few weeks ago. They have several thousand products. They sell in 14 different countries.
Wow.
And they're managing all of that. I mean, that's like just a huge level of complexity. But I guess my point is like, what's optimal is also like, depends also on like your personal circumstances. Like if you're doing it as a side hustle, maybe optimal is like fewer products.
Okay.
But on the whole, I kind of tend to believe if you can have a bigger business with fewer products, for me, that would be the dream scenario.
Can you share some insights into how Suri has grown since you started selling on Amazon?
Definitely. It has been a wild year. So in January, I think we did about £15,000 in revenue. This month, we're looking to cross £300,000 in revenue for the month. And so it's kind of had that really nice kind of growth all year. And the way we've done that is by taking advantage of all of the different tools that we have on Amazon. So one of the initial early game changers was using the deals. So at first it was like lightning one-day deals. Then we, got to enough volume to do sort of best week long deals. So that really changed the game. And then my favorite day of the year, Prime Day. Oh my goodness, Like everyone said, like you're not going to believe this, and sure enough, I did not believe it. It was a multiple higher than even our best sort of forecast. That was in July, and then good old Amazon gave us another one in October, and then Black Friday. It's just been this incredible story. But we also use other tools so there's Manage Your Experiments where you can A/B test your main image, you can A/B test your keywords, you can A/B test the rest of your listing. And so we're constantly, I say constantly, we've done it a few times, we should be doing it more, but like testing and increasing click-through rate, increasing conversion, and looking at different ways that we can sort of aid that growth. So we've gone from a small start to seven figures in our first year, but the race is on now to 8 figures. So we want to get to that 10 million threshold as quickly as possible. So if you know anyone who wants to help us on that, give me a shout.
How's your team changed? So from the very beginning, let's say in January you're making 15k a month, thereabouts, to to a point where you mentioned 300k thereabouts in a month. How's that team dynamic changed?
I'm just really busy. I'm taking orders, I'm packing boxes, I'm doing. No, I'm kidding. We've had to hire some more people to help us with this, right? And so it totally would not be possible without a wider team. So I think off camera, I was just saying to you, like, there's one person who manages it, and we do have one sort of main account manager for Amazon. But the truth is, they are supported by an operations team who are helping us with fulfillment to FBA. We have someone else helping us with PPC, with ads, and then we also have our marketing team who are helping with the creative. And so we've grown as the company's grown, and that's enabled us to kind of continue scaling. But for us, the real trick, and I think the trick in any business, is not to overhire. You want to have as lean a team as possible.
Absolutely.
And that's sort of like philosophically how we want to sort of continue growing.
What would you say are the lessons you've learned along the way in running this business?
How much longer do we have? I mean,
Give me your top three.
top three.
Top
Okay,
three.
top
Let's
three.
go for it.
First one is definitely always try minimize your downside and maximize your upside.
Okay.
And that also talks, I guess, to resourcefulness. It's like,
Sure.
how can you get more with less? How can you persuade someone to do something for free? How can you always be seeking to get additional value at every single moment is one thing.
Sure.
The second one is, one of my personal values, Ken, is like relationships. I love
Yes.
people.
Same as me.
Oh, my
Absolutely
goodness.
love that.
Yeah, and like, I love my children. I love spending time with them. I love my wife. I love my friends. I love everyone, and like, I enjoy spending time with people. And ultimately, it doesn't matter whether you're, I don't know, working with a supplier or whatever you do. It's like, if you actually enjoy working with people and you respect people and you give them value and you enjoy spending time with them, I believe the more you give, the more comes back to you. And
Wow.
but you don't give
Because you
to
expect
get something back.
Yeah.
If you're just giving and giving
Yeah.
and all the time just like trying to support people and help them,
Yeah.
A, it makes you feel really good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
B, you get to have great relationships.
Yes.
And thirdly, like, good things seem to come back. And
100%.
it's just,
Yeah.
I think one of my lessons, when I was younger, and not that I'm like ancient, but like when I was younger, I definitely was like, oh, I want to make £1 million, I want to make £10 million, or like I want to do this and that, and like once I get there, then I'm gonna be
Then
happy.
you're gonna be happy.
Then I'll be happy. Then I'll be happy. And then it just clicked one. I don't know. Like, actually, I just really want to enjoy every day.
Yeah.
And every week. And if my measure of success is actually I'm having a good time, I enjoy what I'm doing with the people I'm doing it with, then if I make all the goals, amazing. And if I don't, I'll have spent all my time enjoying myself,
Yes.
having a great life, and I'll be like, okay, well, I didn't quite make it there, but what a ride, what a lesson. And I think it sounds kind of cheesy, but I really truly believe that.
Wow. Yeah, and I believe that as well. And thank you for sharing that. So it came straight from the heart. I could feel that.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, it doesn't also mean I don't still want the goals.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, and you can flip between the two, but it really is. It's, life's short, and wouldn't it be crazy to get, towards the end of your career, and you just look back and you think, where did all the time go?
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that, or
Exactly.
My third lesson from this year would be also to try and find a little bit of balance, but everything in balance, including balance. And like, honestly, I've just worked something off. I've never worked so hard in my entire life, and it's definitely not been the right balance. But sometimes you just have to get your head down and do it.
Yeah, and I think there's seasons. I think that speaks
Exactly.
to seasons. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So sometimes you're not so busy, sometimes you are. Realistically, speaking to being busy, a lot of our audience are full-time people. They work in, they have their day jobs. Realistically, can you have a full-time job and also sell on Amazon as a side hustle, do you think?
Yes. Well, plenty of people do. So it is definitely possible. Is it easy? No.
Yeah.
But if you want easy, probably, someone said easy decisions, hard life. Hard decisions, easy life. And I do believe in that. It's like, if you, it is additional work, at the end of the working day, it's like, do you really want to go onto Amazon and check it? But when your sales are flying, you do.
Yeah.
You'll be checking under work.
You'll be on it, your app.
100%. You'll just get on it. So yeah, it's definitely possible. It's not easy though.
So I just want to end by asking, are there any resources or tools or anything that's just helped you on this journey become a better seller on Amazon?
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of software that enables you to become better quickly. So Helium 10, I think, is a really good resource that we use. There's a plethora of other ones which you should use, but honestly, like podcasts, YouTube, and the community, my top tip would be, if you really want to get into this, is like go and listen to every one of the podcasts. Write the names down of like these people who are leading the podcast, who are like Amazon expert sellers.
Oh, okay.
Like, don't buy their courses initially. Do you know what I mean? Do your research. Follow them on LinkedIn. Write them an email. Say,
Sure.
you know, ask them a question. Most people will respond to a few questions on email. Hell, if anyone wants to email me after this, like, by all means, email me. I might take a while to respond, but I'll respond. And I think people don't realize it's not that hard to reach out to others, you know? And so I would just really, you know, get deep into it with all the free resources.
Yes.
Start learning. And then 99% of people will never take the first step.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? 99% will never take the first step. They're entrepreneurs, not entrepreneurs. And that, like, it is as easy as like just doing the first
I think
step.
that needed a clap, sorry.
No, but like it's so true.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like the way you scale Everest. What's the first thing you do if you want to scale Everest? You have to take one
that
step.
You just
And
take that first step.
That one step puts you ahead of the 99% of people who never take that one first step. And after the first step, guess what? You don't then leap to the top. You take a second step and a third step. And it is as easy and as difficult as taking the first step, because honestly, just most people just don't do it. So just take a first step, and hey, you don't have to continue, but like, if you do one thing, you're already ahead of 99% of people, which is wild.
On that note, people, look in the resource section below this video, click that link and get started selling on Amazon. Mark, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
so
very
much.
Cheers.
Thank you.